What's going on, everybody? BobbyFi back here with my man Eric Haber. You're gonna have to. I'm gonna apologize. I'm a little loopy. I don't know what exactly I did. I went to the doctor. They're not sure, but I did something. I pinched a nerve or did something, and I can't really move my neck, so I took a painkiller. So this is gonna be an interesting show. But as Sheets pointed out to me pre-show, getting through the show a little loopy might be the best way to do it, especially with the recent good calls and bad results I've had in baseball. I guess I would put it like maybe loopiness is exactly what the doctor ordered.
So I'll throw a couple of personal things up there. Good, bad, and good news together. So my son, who's at UVA, only a matter of time. He got diagnosed with COVID yesterday. Three of his friends, they all were positive the day before. And so he went into quarantine. They have them in these one-bedroom apartments or something like that while they get better. His fever's not that bad. It's getting better. And as with most kids, he's going to be fine. I don't know about long-term effects or anything like that, obviously, but so far so good. And so that's bad news, but it's good news also. So really good news on that front. And baseball last night was tricky. It was whatever. But I'll tell you who really screwed up. They could have taken a lot more of my money was FanDuel. Because if they provided more tournaments for me to play yesterday, I was ready, man. I was really confident about yesterday's slate. I was really gonna play a decent amount on FanDuel, but they gave me nothing to play. I'm not a baller like some of these people that could play the 555, whatever. So I didn't want to do that. And aside from like the $4, there was like nothing good. It was like ridiculous. So hey, you know what? I'll play what's available for me. But if FanDuel doesn't want to put anything in my price range that I want to play, then I'm just not going to play.
Right. I agree. It's been really annoying. It's been frustrating on all that stuff. I'm really happy Matt's doing okay out there because I knew that obviously before, so I wasn't, for those of you, I'm not an unsympathetic asshole who was looking away while Sheets was telling that story. That was, no, it's rough, but it's great that he's feeling better and it'll be over with shortly, which is someone as young as him and, healthy and all that stuff.
So today, let's get on with it. So today's slate is a freaking war. Okay. I think it is, at least. There's like so many freaking things you can do. And it's like I almost want to play like just 3 lineups. You know what I mean? Just because once I start getting into everything I want, I'm going to end up playing 1,000 of them. You know, I don't know. I really am not upset, but I really need Bobby in full mode because I need to whittle this down a little bit. So maybe between this one and the BetQL thing, I'll have at least some direction because you should see what my piece of paper looks like here. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally understand that. So let's go game by game. Let's pull it up on your screen and we'll figure this thing out together.
Yeah, that's good.
It's Chicago is the first. Yeah, the first one you have, I'm guessing, is going to be Chicago and Cincinnati. Yeah. On this particular slate, I don't find myself needing anything in this game. I was a little tempted to maybe consider the Cincinnati hitters a little bit, especially on FanDuel. That's about all I got. Moustakas would be the guy on FanDuel who stands out along with Winker, pretty good on both sides. But I don't know that I need it on this slate.
I agree with that. I actually was pretty close to getting to Cincinnati as like my, like 10th option, for example, on DraftKings. But I didn't quite make it. And I agree with you about FanDuel. Like if you wanted to play, some guys from Cincinnati on FanDuel, I think that's fine. There obviously is zillion options. But I did like who were the guys I liked? The guys you mentioned, like Moustakas and Castellanos, I like Winker and Shogo.
Yeah, and Shogo obviously at 2,400 is a good value saver. It's going to be that conversation with a lot of other guys, but he is one of them. So I didn't find myself interested in the White Sox tonight, which is kind of weird because it's actually like a great hitter's park. The prices are actually like reasonable on a lot of these guys, and I don't think Molly he's sort of hit or miss. He can have he can strike out 10 or he can get lit up in 4 innings. But I just think again it's just not the slate for me.
I agree.
All right, let's move over to Cleveland, Detroit. The first thing I've got over here is that, I was frustrated. I'm always frustrated whenever Jose Ramirez goes off and I don't have him, and it's just
I hear you.
But again, another great spot for Cleveland. They are traveling from where they were yesterday, right? They were in Yeah, they were in Chicago yesterday.
I thought they were still in. I thought Cleveland was still.
Oh, you're right. They're still in Detroit. My bad. They were Chicago the day before. This is what happened. I'm loopy. I'm losing my track of everything. Yeah, this would be one of the places I would consider attacking. Specifically, Ramirez is just lights out right now. I actually love Reyes in this, and I think he would be the lowest owned. Not that ownership's going to be too much of an issue, but I think people will play like Naquin and Santana a little bit, and Ramirez. But I can get behind this stack. I don't know that it's my favorite, but I think that you want to pick on this Detroit bullpen. Fulmer's obviously not the same Fulmer who he's not even like really a starter anymore. So it's going to be a bullpen game. I don't mind this spot for Cleveland. It's not my favorite spot on the thing, but I do think that with their prices, you could even do little two-mans and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I do like Santana a little bit better today than I did yesterday, which I know sounds weird, but there were certain price guys. The only thing that worries me about him is just the lack of power he's shown over the last like month and a half is a little bit nerve-wracking, but he is 3,500 in a good spot.
Well, okay, we'll get back to it then. But I like Cleveland a lot more on FanDuel than on DraftKings.
Cheap.
I like them on DraftKings a little bit, but I like them a little more on FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pay up for the good guys a little bit on FanDuel, I think. So I like Reyes the best, and also Santana also, and then Ramirez and Lindor if I can get to them. But what about let's talk about Plesac though.
So. Okay. He's obviously a strong option on the slate. I have him in the mix with a number of other guys. I don't know where he stands for me. I'm still sort of back and forth. I want to pick on Detroit in general. I think he's going to be popular, but I guess that's not going to matter to me that much on this slate. So I'm interested. I don't know. I don't have him like 100%. I'm not like locked in. I think he's going to show up as being like a chalky cash game guy. And I'm good with it. I guess that naturally I was looking to pivot maybe a little bit, but maybe I don't need to. Yeah,
I was hoping you'd do better than that with me. I'd hope you.
I don't have a strong one on this one.
I know. Well, that's why I can hope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, he's one of the top. He's one of the top guys. I mean, with me, it's Glasnow, Plesac, and Paddock as the top three guys. But there's other things you can do, right? So. Look, good pitcher, good strikeouts, good matchup, and all that. And I don't know where the ownership's going to come in. Actually, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I just presume that once again, Paddock, because he's in Seattle, even though they freaking just destroy him every time he plays against them, is going to be really popular. Even though he came out like after 2 innings a couple of games ago or whatever.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be really popular. And I guess Plesac just because of the matchups, right? So he's certainly on a short list of guys I'm going to use.
Yeah, that's where I stand too, and I may end up just with him, but it's I sort of just feel blah about it. I feel like I don't even feel like his upside. I mean, it's always upside against Detroit, but 40% ownership, 30% ownership, whatever he ends up, somewhere in that range probably. It definitely could go other ways, but I still think he makes sense.
Okay.
Right. Atlanta Mets.
Yeah.
What do you got over here? Because I don't know that I'm gonna end up doing much over here.
I have neither pitcher in my mix and neither hitting team in my mix at all. Let me just scroll down real fast and see if there's even any one-offs that I kind of liked. Todd Frazier.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I don't like to pick on Fried, so I think that my only one-offs in this game would be on the other side. I would take a shot with, it's a spend up, so it's going to be tough. But, I mean, it's going to be hard to get to Acuna, but I do think he matches up really well here. And Ozuna, but I just don't think I'm going to end up doing it, I realistically. The one guy who might, who's not going to be owned, but he's also expensive, though, is Duvall, who also profiles well. And even Riley, I actually could see these guys being okay. It's just at these prices on this slate, I don't think we needed to do it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Boston Yankees.
Yeah, let's do it. It's I mean, what? It's like the same thing every night, right? Are we just making mistakes every night by not just stacking the Yankees only?
No, we're doing worse because I'm stacking them every night and I'm not getting the right ones.
That's the worst.
I was right about Stanton, right? I mean, Stanton I thought was kind of lockish last. I was very surprised he didn't go off chalkier.
Yeah, I think people were afraid of the injury, but you were right. Yeah, he nailed it. That was a big thing. It would have won me a lot of money if I would have not kept my stack intact and used Stanton instead of my Springer play. But all right, so Yankees priorities. They're all great. I think Judge, we can speculate that maybe he is not 100%, but even still, it's hard not to want him against the lefty in Boston. The wind is blowing in. It's not going to affect it that much, but it is blowing in pretty hard right now. It's just Boston. I mean, it's out of left field too, so it's not like it's, if you hit the ball hard over there, it's still going to get over that monster if it's high enough. So I mean, it's the obvious guys, but I would actually put Luke Voit as my favorite at first baseman overall in general today. And then I would play Stanton and Urshela. I don't know which order. It's really hard with this team, especially not knowing their lineup. I'd put Aaron Hicks right there. Again, he's the cheap one. I know he hasn't been as good as the other guys, but still he's, right in the middle of the order. You can do it anyway. The good thing about this stack is you can do it any which way. If it looks like it's going to be too chalky one way, play Clint Frazier at the bottom, play Gary Sanchez, actually Gary Sanchez is probably good ownership. But, I'm wondering where Glaber and Hicks and all these guys end up. I think that you just play the ownership side of it because they all have power. Obviously, LeMahieu has been absolutely out of this world, so maybe you do want to just make sure to prioritize him, which feels absolutely bizarre to say at this price. But I don't know. You're a bigger Yankee guy than I am. Who are you prioritizing the most?
How do I know? But I can tell you, I can't even ever watch the Yankees. I get nothing. I'm telling you, I watch less Yankees than any other team because I can't get them. I like Hicks the best, and then Judge, Stanton, Torres. I don't think I need to pay $5,600 for LeMahieu.
Okay. Yeah, I keep feeling that way about LeMahieu, and then he keeps proving me wrong.
And then he scores 30 fantasy points a night. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I know it's frustrating. Yeah, and this is a good. I mean, this honestly, this is the second best line offense today, in my opinion.
Oh, you think so?
Really, you got another one who's better than the second best? Maybe not. Maybe I'm missing something, but I have them as my second best offense. You think they're first?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had them like fourth.
Oh, interesting. I'm
just presuming. I mean, again, I have them. I mean, I have my second, probably second non-cores, maybe. I got another one.
Okay. All right.
We'll get to it, I guess.
All right. Let's get to it. Let's move over to the next game. Tampa Bay.
Wait. Hold.
My bad.
To say, first of all, do you like Montgomery at all?
No.
Okay. Next thing, do you like the Red Sox at all?
I'm telling you, man, it's hard to watch these zeros just over and over again for these guys. You could play the long-term JD Martinez is good against lefties. It's true. That's basically all I got on this side.
Yeah, I had a little interest in the Red Sox on FanDuel.
Interesting. They've just been so bad. And I think Montgomery's okay, and I think the Yankees bullpen is good. I just have that. That's just where I stand on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Ready to move on to Tampa Bay, Baltimore? I'm guessing this is going to be one of your other ones.
They're okay. So Tampa, first of all, Glass now rates to be, top option, right?
Yep.
Right with those other guys.
Yep.
And yeah, sure. On the hitting side, I like Tampa. I like my two favorite guys are going to be the two chalkiest guys, the low. I like both of them, and they're probably going to be the chalkiest of them all. Kiermaier, it's good value, but I'm telling you, scare me. Whenever I start talking about Tampa, I have this thing in the back of my head that all my guys are going to get pinch hit for.
You're right.
So I don't know if I'm going to get to them, honestly. Because, again, when my favorite guys are chalky and then, they have that other risk in them, I don't know if I'm going to get to them. I mean, they're certainly in the list of them, but I think I like other teams a little bit better.
Well, the thing is also, I don't know, and I would have to do a deeper dive on this. I know the bullpen isn't good for Baltimore, but I need to dive in how many available lefties they have. Because the natural thing to do against the Tampa Bay team, where all of their regular players basically are lefties, is to try and bring in a lefty reliever once Cobb is out of the game. So in that case, yeah, they probably will get pinch hit for. I get this stack. I really like I'm not going to be able to play him, but I really like Brandon Lau. I think he's one of the most likely guys to hit a home run tonight, but he's 5,500. I'd rather play LeMahieu since I'm going to be playing some Yankees anyway. I just don't find the individual bats that I really want. And yeah, they could go off as an offense, but Nate Lau and Brandon Lowe, they're different. I can't remember which is which right now. I'm too loopy for it. Those guys, and then Kiermaier at 2,700. But I don't really like. I just don't think I'm gonna end up doing it, to be honest.
You like the two? You like the Baltimore value dudes again?
I like Glasnow a lot, so I like them less than I did. But you can absolutely play anybody at these prices. I think G.J. Stewart is just getting kind of ridiculous. Like, so he'd be the one guy I would prioritize more, even ahead of Mullins. Yeah.
So I presume in the Dodger LA game, we're not double stacking Castellani and Mitch White.
Just go super contrarian.
So that we can get up to play Boston. Probably not. Right?
By the way, I have to ask you a question about the other day. I just remembered. I told you about the Dustin May getting scratched, which he was, and then they brought him in after the first inning, which they didn't announce they were going to do, and they said afterwards they didn't plan to do. I don't bullshit. I call BS.
Well, hold on.
That was a weird situation.
Well, hold on. When you said that to me, and I said, oh, he took him out of the lineups, I went into DraftKings, and it did say projected long reliever in the DraftKings app.
I know, but the funny part is after the game, they said that we were going to see how it goes, and I was like, the first pitcher, I can't remember who was started. He was only going to pitch an inning anyway, so I was like, what were they going to see if it goes for 2 innings, then bring somebody else in? I don't know. It was just very weird coach speak that I heard after the game. But even the projected long reliever thing is a weird thing to do all of a sudden to a guy who's been starting every game. It just was weird. Dave Roberts is weird. There's no logical explanation for why out of the blue you're just going to throw that out there. Because he has been starting.
So Dodgers and Colorado are all both really good plays, and I'm not going to play them.
I love the Dodgers. I will actually play the Dodgers today. I don't see any route where they don't have a big game. I really don't. They just match up too well against Castellani. He's one of the worst in baseball. He's not going to strike these guys out. Whoever makes the lineup today is going to be who you're looking at. It's the last road trip of the year for the Dodgers. They're sort of winding down, so maybe you could say that their foot is off the gas a little bit or something like that, but they still look good. I really like the lineup overall, but you play the bottom guys. If Rios gets back in after hitting another home run, play him. Play Gavin Lux. I really like everybody 1 through 9. There's not a bat that I wouldn't consider. And, I understand they're going to have a lot of ownership. I'm okay with eating some of it. I don't know if I need to fully stack them. Priority play, Corey Seager, followed by Muncy, Betts. Probably the bottom guys factoring in ownership, Luxor and Rios if they get in.
Yeah, my favorites from the game are Seager and Muncy.
Yeah.
I mean, from the Dodger side, or Seager and Muncy.
I don't mind some of the value from the other side, like David Dulles 2.6. That's kind of crazy if he makes the lineup because this is the night where I heard he's going to play. You can stack them cheaply, so I don't blame you, but Tapia's 3.4, Fuentes is 3K. All these guys are worth taking shots on. But I don't know that, playing them at super chalk if I'm going to play Dodgers also is optimal. So I don't really want to stack Colorado, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm just going to use some of these pieces and try to do it where I don't have too much other chalk because I think they're all.
I have a question. Are we 100% sure that Colorado's going to be chalky?
I think Tapia will be. It's a good point, actually. I don't think Blackman and Story and Arenado will be as much as we're used to, but I do think that the value will be. Like, I think Dahl and Fuentes and Tapia actually will be popular, and maybe even McMahon and Pilar too. I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. Maybe they won't be, but Tapia should be for sure, and Dahl I think will be, assuming that he's in the lineup.
Yeah, I got to keep an eye on that because if they do, because my initial ownership runs don't really have them that chalky at all. So if I can get those guys at 10% or less, I might have to try it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. I like it, especially because you can do it affordably. So let's say you did a 4-man stack. You could actually do it like with another good stack that you don't necessarily need all these guys to hit multiple home runs. You know what I mean? You can try to do this for. Because I don't think picking on the Dodger is in a bullpen game is like the best route to try and win a tournament, but I do think that with these prices, you can get enough points per dollar that spending up on maybe the Yankees with them or something like that would work. I think it's a good idea.
All right. KC Milwaukee, both of the pitchers in this game are on my second tier. The pitchers that I don't think I'm going to use, but I might want to. You know what I mean? Like if the more lineups I get to, the more I will pivot to these guys. You know, neither of them are particularly exciting, but they're just on my list. You know what I mean? They're just secondary options behind Paddock and Plesac that you know, just to get. I don't even know if they're going to get a break in ownership. Honestly, I think Hauser always gets played. I think, but I don't know. Maybe not today.
I don't see. I mean, I see the rankings on him. I see the advanced stats, and I see everybody making the same mistake on him every single game. This guy.
So they will play him.
No. I'm just saying maybe a little bit. I mean, I could see his people are talking about it throughout the industry, and I just want to point out a few things about our friend Adrian Hauser. This guy has put up over 20 fantasy points once in 10 starts, and has a decent matchup, sure, but has had plenty of good matchups so far. And I just don't see it could be that blow up game for him. Like, he's been pitching innings. The K rate has for the most part been extremely low. Well, not extremely low. It's weird. It says when he does pitch longer, he's always got 3 strikeouts in 7 innings. When he pitches shorter, he gets 5 strikeouts in 4 innings. I just don't feel good about his ability to work deep in games. This is the kind of team you want to use him against. If he was 6K, it'd be a different conversation. But I'm not interested in either of these guys personally. Not
Duffy at all, no.
I think that I would much more side with the bats on Milwaukee. I like Ryan Braun a ton.
Yep.
Avisail Garcia a ton.
Yep.
Those would be the main ones for me. I don't think I need anybody else, but you can play Jorko, or if you can afford Hira or Yelich.
That's exactly what I wrote down, actually. Just Braun and Garcia.
Yeah, and the thing is, Duffy will give up power to some of these guys. They're good against lefties. They're way too cheap. They're playing in a great hitter's park. It all looks like systems go to me for at least a couple of these guys. And I think that I would rather spend down on this value for like Garcia and for Ryan Braun than try to get up to that lower whatever range of value, or Aaron Hicks in the same range kind of a guy, than pay all the way down today. And I don't think you need to pay all the way down as much today, because we're not going to talk about starting 2 ace pitchers, I don't think. We're going to talk about two middle aces pitchers, I think. And you're bringing one up right now. I guess.
So the thing is that you know, you have to have seen these shows to appreciate the sarcasm of what I'm going to say here, but you get Zach Gallen, who gets a real upgrade in matchup. I mean, he was up against the freaking giant killers in his last start, right? Who barely didn't. I don't know if he made it out of the first inning or whatever, but now he gets a real easy matchup in freaking Houston, who everybody loves, and they can't score a run, you know. So this could be the interesting one, right? This could be the one that people game log watch, say, dude, I couldn't get him home against Seattle. I'm going to play him against Houston. You see these cheap some of these cheap Houston guys over here. Maybe Gallen's the way to go because it's really tough to do it.
You know, what's so interesting is that I have this same thing, and like, what bothers me is the historic strikeout rate for this Houston lineup is really it's low. It's not good. But I believe in Gallen. Houston has been really bad overall. I mean, we've seen it, man. We've been playing them, so we've seen it. Yep. Gallen's great against righties, struggles a little bit with lefties, which you could say whatever about Seattle and San Francisco. They certainly have more lefties than Houston does. Houston really got just Reddick, Tucker, and Brantley. So I could see the path, and maybe that's what you do. Maybe when you play your Dodgers stack, you try to use Gallen and then something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't see him getting ownership tonight, right?
Yeah, he can.
You think so? What do you think his ceiling of ownership might be? Because I don't.
15.
Yeah, right. Maybe lower than 10 for a guy who could have the highest score on the slate. It's kind of interesting. It is hard at the same time because the matchup is so much better for Greinke, and he's only 600 more. but I don't feel excited about using Greinke here. I actually feel like I know he's got the ceiling, and I don't believe in Arizona, but I just don't know if we need to spend all the way up here. Pitching is going to be weird. We'll have to revisit it because I'm considering both these guys right now. I don't know how it's gonna play out.
What the hell's so good about Greinke?
I mean, he's been, other than his last game, pretty consistent. His last game was against the Dodgers.
Does he strike people out anymore?
Some. He doesn't get up to the double digits as much, but he had 9 3 games ago. Yeah, you're probably asking for a lot from him for his price. It's a bad line. I still don't believe in this Arizona lineup at all.
I've got to tell you, I'm looking at the slate. I'm looking at the prices here. With Glass now at 9,700 against Baltimore, like Gallen's not even going to be 15%.
There's no way. And there's no way anybody's going to – but I also don't think people will play Greinke either. So these guys are both on my list just as potential. Like I said, there's value. If you choose to use it, you can spend up. But you're not spending up on Garrett Cole and Jacob deGrom, which might be a good thing, actually, after what deGrom did. But that's sort of where we're at today.
Would you try any of the Houston bats or not? We're done with it.
We're done with we're done. I mean, I don't want to try him against Gallen. I don't think this is the spot.
Yeah, if you did, it would be Altuve, Brantley, and Springer.
Yes. So let's move over to Chicago.
Yeah. So Hendricks is another guy. I'm not going to do it. You know what? I'm not playing against Minnesota. I'm just not. With neither of these guys I'm going to play. And honestly, I wasn't going to get to this game at all. That's really weird. So this is really stupid, right? The only thing I wrote down from this game is maybe Hendricks, which is kind of silly, right? Because if anything, you should be looking at Minnesota hitters as just always. But
no,
how can I play Hendricks?
Yeah, you have to be interested in both these pitchers tonight.
Oh, okay.
The wind's blowing in hard.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, no wonder he's showing up so decent.
Yeah, and that's why the run total is like incredible.
Okay.
You've also got a pretty two teams that have reasonable K rates versus the handedness of the pitcher. I think Rich Hill is a super interesting tournament play. I could easily see him going 5-6 innings and striking out like 9 guys or 8 guys in this lineup. He can be just dazzling like when he's on. He looked really good in his last start against a much, much tougher Cleveland team.
Yep.
So I'm willing to take a shot. And by the way, I mean, I think that home run was later in that game. You take that away. He looked like he was about to have an incredible start. So I actually I can get into Rich Hill as a tournament play big time, and Kyle Hendricks. But I think Rich Hill is the guy I might end up siding with. Which I know sounds weird, but I think it's just a really, really awesome tournament spot.
And I presume no hitters, right?
No.
Okay, so now Texas, LA. I'm going to spend too much time on this one, but in any case, this was the team that I thought was going to be equal to or better than the Yankees was the Angels. I mean, I looked again. I think it's close. It's close, but I think the Angels are just pretty strong in the spot. No, I mean, I hate to say it this way, but Trout's back under 6,000, whatever. And you have like the best hitter in baseball, Jared Walsh, right? So I would say that Trout, Upton, Walsh, Rendon, I think that those are really, really strong. Now, I don't like to think I know everything about whoever this Forget guy is, whatever, but I don't know. I just kind of figured that the Angels would be just as good pretty much as the Yankees, which is kind of silly to say since the Yankees score 20 runs a game.
Also, the park factors are a real thing. Like you're in
Okay.
Boston versus LA.
That's true. That's true. But I like the Angels, and yeah, and you're gonna have to kind of well, you know what? When I used to play poker, I'd play online. I was thinking of doing something really, really dumb. I would set a cliff. Like Cliff, someone's got to take my mouse away from me, right? Before I do something stupid, you're gonna have to kind of take my mouse away from me because I kind of want to play Texas. I want to play Gallo. I want to play Solak. I want to play Odor. I might even want to play. And I want to play Calhoun. I want to play Guzman. I want to play these guys. A 100-game slate, it seems kind of silly to do. So someone's going to have to just kind of tell me not to. But that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't stack them, but I would play like 1 or 2.
Okay.
I just don't see. I mean, they can sure it can happen. It's just like betting on a team that never scores any runs. Just,
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
right. And we've seen this story every single day, and it happened with Pittsburgh, and everybody was arguing for Pittsburgh yesterday. I'm like,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh has scored 5 runs exactly one time in the last month.
And it was yesterday, I think.
Yeah, well, before yesterday, but yeah, that was twice. Yeah, I'm not very into the. I like the Angels fine. I'm not playing a ton of lineups. I'm not going to get to them.
Okay.
I like them just mediocre.
Okay.
Chief, when the video does stop, are you able to stop it on your end, or do I have to do it? Because for some reason that part of my screen just disappeared, and I don't know how to. Okay. Nothing. I'll get it back. No, I've got it now. Never mind. I'll figure it out there. Never mind. We'll move on to the next game.
San Francisco, Oakland. I had nothing from this.
Yeah, I don't really see the reason to get overly involved here.
You like Bassett at all? That would be the only thing I would say.
The only thing I was thinking about, he's been mostly pretty good this year. I don't mind taking a shot on him. I'm not like, I don't feel like I need him. Let's just take a look real quick at the weather in this game. 67 degrees. It's pretty good pitching weather. You got a nice total there. Bassett with a good projection. He's an interesting pivot off of some of the other guys who are going to be popular in the range. So yeah, I don't mind him. I don't think I'm going to end up doing it realistically, but if I play a bunch of lineups, I definitely would have him in there.
All right, so we're gonna probably have to arm wrestle about this next game, but maybe not. I don't know, because you're gonna tell me about Kikuchi again, or we're done with him yet?
Why would we be done with him?
I don't know. I was surprised that people played him in the last time.
I don't understand that why, because he's been like the best point per dollar pitcher of the season.
He has. Maybe I just don't notice it.
He's 6,600. He's never been less than. He's been between 5,100 and 6,700. That's been his price range. At 5,100, he put up 29 fantasy points. At 5K, he put up against this same team. He put up 17 at 5K. He put up 28 at 5.7. He only put up 11 last time against Arizona. I don't think this is like a great spot where we have to play him because you don't need to save and you don't need to spend up for another pitcher. So you don't. This is not the priority time like it's been. And San Diego is good against lefties, but it's not like he's been bad. We shouldn't treat it like somehow he's been a failure. It's the exact opposite, actually.
Is he going to get owned today or no?
I don't think so, which actually is kind of interesting.
All right, because I like San Diego.
Yeah.
I like Tatis. I like Myers, and then I like Machado. And on the San Diego side, the pitching, I like Paddock. I don't know why. I mean, like, he never does anything for me. But if you have a sparkling 9 fantasy points in the last 2 games, starting with getting taken out of the last game for some reason, he had a right ankle sprain. That's why he came out.
Yeah.
I don't get that. How did he sprain his ankle? I don't. Anyway, I'll play him again, I suppose. And he'll be chalky, and I'll probably regret it. But I'll play Paddock again, and I don't think I'm gonna play my usual. It's just too many hitters on the slate. I'm just not gonna play my usual Seattle lefties against Paddock deal. Although it's probably gonna be good. So I like San Diego hitters, like I said, Tatis and Myers and Machado, and I like I like Paddock, and I'm not playing Kikuchi.
Yeah, by the way, are we sure? Is this game in Seattle or San Diego?
It's in Seattle.
They went back there, okay? So
we'll see.
Well, then we have to keep an eye out for the weather then. I mean, that's just –
Yep.
You just canceled the series for this. Like, we should at least be aware of it. So –
Well, San Francisco, Oakland, I mean, so you could always pivot to Bassett if you want.
Exactly. But is Paddock such a strong play that we need to prioritize him?
I don't know, maybe.
All the things would say yes, but I don't know why. Like, I mean,
I'm with you. Yeah.
sometimes Sheets. Maybe sometimes I think sometimes in this game, like the advantage can be game log watching.
It may be, huh?
That's the actual results. Like regardless of everything else we talk about.
Yeah, I know.
And the people fall in love with the low walk rate, and he's getting unlucky on BABIP and all this stuff. But it's happening consistently, and his price is he's not this like cheap guy anymore. And actually not even anymore. He's not cheap. He's the most expensive he's been all season, second most expensive. Oddly, his great start in Colorado was the only time that he was more expensive. But yeah, he makes sense from like an overall point, especially because I don't really love the pitching on this slate. I think if I'm looking at it overall, I would try to prefer Glass now and one of the guys in the Chicago game. Even that feels volatile because you never know if, Rich Hill is, he's like the Louis Oosthuizen of pitching. Like if it's not a playoff game or something and he goes out there and he's got a blister, they pull him out of the game in the second inning. Oosthuizen famously, because you get paid if you go, he would go hit. He had like 3 tournaments where he hit off the first tee and then stopped, just left the tournament. And I thought that was really funny. But that's how I feel about Rich Hill. But that's how I'd sort of rate the pitching today. I don't really, and I'd put Paddock in there, but like maybe if he's going to be too high owned, I think I'd rather go with these other guys.
And you want to be kind of like stupid idiot narrative guy, not even narrative guy. If you got a sprained ankle on your right foot, it's kind of be hard to push off the rubber as a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's a real thing. No, I mean, you're looking for if he gets too far. However, I would say if for some reason people do get nervous and he gets to be like 20 or 15% owned, then I'd totally change my mind.
They won't. People are going to pound him.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I'm not, looking at the way that people are ranking their pitchers today, I think that Plesac actually might end up being the most owned. Plesac and Glass now. And I honestly don't feel great, but I feel like those are my safest plays as well. And we can always make up differences elsewhere. How about some stack sheets? Like we mentioned, we talked about it as we went. There seems to be a lot that you like. I have a little bit less, maybe it's the loopiness, but I have less interest in spreading out too thin tonight. So who are some of your guys?
So I'm going to only play like 6 lineups. So I'm going to have to make a decision, right? So it's going to be Yankees. That's probably going to be the top one. Yankees, Angels, those would be my top 2. I don't think I'm going to stack the Dodgers. Just kind of stay on brand a little bit. They're definitely the best plays. But like you take a lineup like this, which is not necessarily the lineup under you. I mean, you could play like a one-off of Seager, you know what I mean, or just kind of sprinkle some Dodgers in and make it work also. Look, I mentioned other teams like Texas, San Diego, and whatever it is. I with the amount of lineups I play, I just really don't think I'm going to get to them, and we'll see. But I think Yankees and Angels are going to be my top ones, and then if I get really what's the word I'm looking for, jumpy or whatever, I'll try something like San Diego, and then Texas if I'm completely untilt.
Yeah, I like the. I mean, I hate to say this, obviously, I like the Dodgers, obviously.
Yep.
I still think I might do some of like the Cleveland thing. I'm still debating that one.
Yeah.
I don't love as many of these stacks as people do. There's some individual hitters that I like. I really like the Braun Garcia thing. I don't know if I want to stack up Milwaukee fully, but I do like those guys as like a little mini stack.
Well, let me ask you this, Bobby. I forget who it was that said. I think it was Jordan from RG or whatever. What do you think of this theory? And again, I haven't looked at this. That the more games that there are, like the more you need to, or the more you want to do a full 5-man stack, because it becomes that much more likely that if you have like 10 opportunities for one team to just go crazy, that you're going to want to be on that, or is that just kind of just missing the point?
No, I think that's the way people play. To me, I would describe that way of thinking strictly as narrow-minded.
Okay.
It's absolutely, there's no way, Sheets, and I'll tell you this even about full stacks, by the way, or about mini stacks, anything.
Okay.
If statistically, if you're trying to make the best possible lineup, the odds of actually everybody being in any 5-man is unlikely.
Well, for sure. I mean,
so all it does is eliminate some of your other possibilities, and really, it's like when you double stack wide receivers with a quarterback. Yeah, that's not going to be ever like. It's hard for that it's a little different because the game flow depends on something, but I don't know. It's not. I don't agree with that entirely. I've seen tournaments won this year a number of times where there's been nobody on the same team. None. And that's not the way most people do it. Now, I'm not saying that's optimal, but I'm saying if you can find little mini other ways of doing things, even on big slates. And honestly, I think you can make the argument both ways. I think on short slates, you can make the argument that way to pick a team, or you could go the other way. I really think that I don't think that I see both sides of the argument, and I don't think there's a definite answer. Is basically my answer. But I like doing if I can get leverage on playing different than how everybody else plays. Now I still will stack 5-man stacks sometimes when I like the 5-man stack enough. But if my baseline is a 4-man stack mixed with another 2 or 3, that's going to be automatically differentiating me from a bunch of people, which I have to do because I'm not playing it. I'm not max entering lineups.
Who did you take a look at the positions at all, or not really? I was going to ask you who your favorite catchers were because I'm trying to figure something out.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I let me pull it up real quick. And
do you like Sanchez tonight, for example?
Yeah, I like Sanchez a ton. I mean,
okay.
He's Sanchez and Will Smith are the best 2 catchers, in my opinion, for home run upside. That's probably what I would pay up for. And then where you're spending down, you could use your guy, you could use Mejia in your San Diego stack, even if you're not, because he's only 2K anyway. So he would be the guy who would stand out as the low price guy. I think Roberto Perez and Wolters. I hate Wolters in general, but he has 2.1, like almost the bare minimum in course. So I would kind of consider that. And I also would consider Roberto Perez at 2.6. He struggled this year, but like we've seen the power from him in a little bit of times in the past. I like the Cleveland stack, so him at 2.6. Those are sort of the guys I'm considering the spending down. But Will Smith is the best play on the slate. It's not even close.
Will Smith?
Yeah, I mean, but he's going to be popular. The Yasmani Grandal might be an interesting pivot off of those guys in a great stadium and pretty good hitting environment for him.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Who are your favorite stacks?
Favorite stacks, I mean, Dodgers, mini Milwaukee, and I really have to figure the rest out. I've got a few. I mentioned the Braun Garcia thing. I like Cleveland, but I don't think I fully want to stack them. So I think I might just go Yankees, Dodgers, and then mix in the other guys. I know it's going to be popular, but I'm going to find the low pieces to get involved in. The other ones are – who else did I have on my list? Oh, I like I said, using a guy like Grandal as your catcher is like a kind of thing. If he ends up low owned on this slate, which I think he will because the other catchers that are up there. But really trying to find moves like that. It's a weird to have a big slate where there is so much to choose from, but I don't really feel. I feel the Dodgers and Yankees are so much significantly better than every other lineup today, I guess.
Okay.
And that's where I'm running into issues. We didn't talk at all about Oakland.
Yeah, I didn't get to them. Why you like them a little bit today?
I can see it. Like I don't know that I love them, but I just think maybe like they're another team I was considering as, maybe I could use Olsen as a one-off in a with one of my other stacks. I don't think all that much of Logan Webb when we talk about guys who can't blow the ball past you for Oakland and stacking against those kind of guys. He certainly fits that category. It's just these prices, they're kind of gross. I think on FanDuel they make more sense. So maybe you look for Oakland on FanDuel.
Well, you could play Jake Lamb.
You could play Jake Lamb, that's true. Play Matt, Lamb, Olsen, La Stella, but he's expensive. I think they're just probably a little too pricey on DraftKings, the guys I want. Simeon, but I would play them over on FanDuel.
Huh.
All right.
I think we did it. We did a decent job with this slate.
I hope so, man. I'm feeling like I need to take a nap before our next show. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in with us. Hopefully this was helpful to you. For Sheets, I'm the loopy Bobby saying good luck out there, and we'll see you at the top of leaderboards.
All right, see you in a little bit.
See you, man.